When BOI Weekly returns, Mr. Akindele tells me what big difference the intervention of the Bank of Industry made in his personal and business life. This was after he made a simple but critical business decision a few years back. He moved from Mushin to Ikorodu. I had an engaging interview with him. Enjoy it.
The agricultural sector due to limited processing and preservation capacity. This results in high food prices and food importation with its attendant effects on the nation's foreign reserves. To enable Nigerians optimize the benefits from the country's vast agricultural products such as cassava, oil palm, rice, tomatoes and others, the Bank of Industry has launched a 5 billion naira cottage agro-processing fund, the CAP Fund. Customers can access the fund to establish plans to process our various agro-produce into food products or intermediate raw materials for industries at a single-digit interest rate of 9% per annum. For more information on the CAP Fund, please visit www.boinigeria.com/capfund. Bank of Industry, developing Nigeria's agro-processing industry through the CAP Fund.
Can you tell me what trade was like when you started this line of business?
In those days, printing business was very lucrative, and it's a business that people admired and that brings profits a lot in those days. But unlike now, because many people are already they are on it, and technologies has exposed many secrets in the business. So it makes it so common to people, and the profit margin now reduce if you don't have enough equipment. But for those that have equipment, that are unable to buy good equipment, they are still making it seriously.
How did you hear about the Bank of Industry?
But I hear about the Bank of Industry through my secretary. I mean the secretary of the Association of Friends. I happen to be the president. He told me that he saw an advert on the television, that channel or so. I can't remember vividly the type of TV station. He told me that, then I verified. He mentioned the date that they used to advertise it on the studio and the time. Then I tried to switch on then, and I see it. We now put head together to try and approach Bank of Industry. They now said that we should take some procedure. There are some procedure we need to take before we can access loan. So that we should go to Ministry of Agriculture to register. We have been operating as Association of Friends before then. But before we can access loan from Bank of Industry, we have to register with Ministry of Agriculture in Lagos State, of which we did then, before we can then approach the Bank of Industry.
Tell me, how long was this?
2008, 2009, around 2008, 2009.
I'd like to know about your first day with the Bank of Industry.
I wasn't there the first day. It was our secretary that went there. The secretary of Association of Friends that went to the Bank of Industry to go and approach them. Number one, they said we applied for, they said we should apply, there's a limit of which we can apply for. Then we applied for like 10 million. So they said we are going to pay a security fees of 1%. I mean 10% security, and we pay 1%. We are going to pay 1% also. I can't remember what that one is meant for, which we did before they can give us loan.
Were you given the whole money?
Then we were given the terminal, not only me, the whole association then. So, and every one of us, we are cross guarantee then. We are almost 16 in number then, not the current one. It was after we now apply for, by the time we don't default, we pay it promptly, and we apply for another one.
I'd like you to tell us what has been the impact of your partnership with BOI on your own business.
To be realistic, I told you the other time that then before accessing Bank of Industry, despite the fact that the business was booming and the people were making it there, then I can't triumph in the business before I access the loan from the Bank of Industry. Then it was, I was just given $1 million out of that 10 million on my own, because we are many then. It was cross-guarantee. And it transformed the business. Because it was then I'm able to buy some of my printers, computers, and some machines that I'm using. Some have spoiled before accessing another loan and replace it again now. So by the time I'm able to buy all those machines, knowing fully that if I got those machines, it will affect my business, then the things change. I begin to have more customers and I begin to have more workers. I'm doing it all alone then, all alone. I didn't have anybody as a staff. Though I used to have an apprentice, 1 or 2 apprentices. But by the time I access the Bank of Industry loan, and I cannot do the work all alone because I begin to have more customers. They will now begin to come. So I have to get staff. Also, I have to get an editor. I was doing only lamination before. It was only lamination. See, then I had to go into printing. I begin to print, then I laminate, then I now proceed again to get cutting machine that is cutting frames. All those imported frames, I now get it. After getting it, I get an operator for it as well that is cutting it for me. So basically, I want to say it improved the business drastically. Yes, it helps me seriously. Just $1 million then. It transformed the business.
So tell me, how many people do you employ now versus how many people you started with?
Now we are 15 in number. 15 in number. Though I have about 5 of them as an apprentice, but the remaining 10 I pay them.
When was the first time you secured a loan from the Bank of Industry?
The first time was 2010, between 2009 and 2010.
How long did the process take?
That one, it takes a long process a bit. It takes a long process because they require, it is our secretary that can talk more about it because they require many things and they will go ahead and look for it. After we present that one, they request for another thing, then we go and so that makes the time to a little bit prolonged, like up to 8 months to 11, 10 months, thereabout.
How would you compare the Bank of Industry's rates to those of the average commercial banks?
I've tried other banks, but Bank of Industry and other banks are incomparable. You can't compare Bank of Industry with other banks in terms of their interest rate. Other banks' interest is on the high side. Some are 20, 25%. So you can see, and it's not at reducing balance, unlike Bank of Industry. It's not at reducing balance. You have to pay it at flat rate. So it's not. We can't compare them. Bank of Industry is more preferred than that of other banks. To me, I don't know of another person.
I'd like you to talk about